Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick, illustrator for Gina K Designs, and I'm so grateful you could join me today. I have a really fun card I'm going to be sharing with you today that kind of has a faux die cut built into it. And we're going to be using this card as the inspiration, but I'm going to change up the color palette a bit to use some fall colors. Okay, so I have some Gina K Designs white heavyweight base cardstock here that I've made into my A2 size card. And I have a 4¼ by 5½ base with the lightweight cardstock that I'm going to be using. So I'm doing a white on white kind of look and feel here. So here are the colors that I've pulled. I've got jelly bean green, grass green, I have sweet mango, I have sweet corn, prickly pear, and honey mustard. And I'll have the colors listed down below in the notes as well. So these are some fall colors that I pulled from my collection, and I think they'll be a lot of fun for this card. I'm also going to be using the Gina K Designs Obsidian ink. I love this ink. I've been using it a lot lately, and I really like to use black for my sentiments. I've got some scissors here for some fussy cutting. I've got the Gina K Designs Connect glue, and I've pulled 2 of the Nuvo drops to use in this project, along with my tidy towel. I have my Your Wings stamp set, and I'm going to be using the butterfly elements and some of the leaves and greenery for this set. And I've also pulled 2 other Gina K Designs sets, and I'm not sure which sentiment I'm going to use yet. Either the thank you here or the hello friend from the Autumn Wishes stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've pulled the 2 butterfly wings from the Your Wings stamp set, and I'm just going to get them positioned a little bit close to the top. I want to give room for the leaf stamp that we're going to be doing at the top of the butterfly, but I'm just kind of nestling it in here and deciding my positioning. Now with this stamp, you can get a wider butterfly by just moving the stamp out a little bit or moving it a little bit closer. So I'm trying to get the widest possible butterfly that I can within this space that I have here. So I went ahead and grabbed the prickly pear because I really want kind of that autumn yellow feel to it, and with just that touch of like brown that's in the prickly pear color. So we're going to be doing some stamping over top of this color and within the butterfly. So this is a great color for grounding the 2 butterfly wings. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on and use the leaf elements, the left and right leaf element, and it's going to nest right across the top of the butterfly. And I really do want it to blend well with the prickly pear, so I'm going to go ahead and use the grass green ink and ink up these 2 stamps and just nest them across the top of the wings of the butterfly. The leaf element fits perfectly on top there where the wing is, and I designed that intentionally to proportionally fit so that you could easily line up the greenery along the top of the wing. So I've got the right one on here, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up the left side with the grass green and just repeat that look on the left side. So we're repeating images from the right to the left and getting that symmetrical look in the butterfly. But it also creates, it's also going to be the foundation for where we're going to make the fussy cuts to create that faux die cut feel. So the top of the butterfly is going to pop off of the card and have this faux die cut look and feel to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the second part of the wing and use the other leafy green stamp from the stamp set. So I've got a left and a right version, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up with the sweet mango. I kind of went back and forth here a little bit between prickly pear and honey mustard, but I really want this leaf, it's a nice solid stamp, and I really want it to kind of pop a little bit, but it will fade back and blend really nicely with that prickly pear. So I think it's going to be a great color pop for the center of this butterfly. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that down on the right hand side of the butterfly. And that sweet mango just blends so well with the prickly pear. And now I have the left-handed version of that stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up with the sweet mango as well. And then stamp that down on the left-handed side. So we're creating a symmetrical look and feel with the stamps, and they're proportioned to fit perfectly right with inside of that butterfly. So I'm really digging this so far. I love these fall colors. This combination of colors really looks nice together, and you can see where they overlap each other. You can see some of the prickly pear coming through the sweet mango. Okay, so now here is the floral star element that's part of the Your Wings stamp set. And I intentionally designed this stamp, this image, to fit within the bottom half of the butterfly. So there's an elongated point on the bloom that fits perfectly in the elongated point of the bottom of the butterfly wing. So it makes it really easy to line up, and I've gone ahead and inked this up with the sweet corn. You can see me rotating the stamp to get it right in there, right where it lines up perfectly. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the left-handed side version of the same floral and just go ahead and pop that in. And it makes it really, really easy just to kind of line that up. Just look for that elongated petal and you can just pop it right in, take your block to the stamp, and it'll be lined up perfectly inside of the bottom part of the wing. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with some of the sweet corn and then just stamp it right down in the bottom there. And these florals kind of have a whimsical look and feel to them, but they also kind of have a little bit of a folky look and feel to them. So I love that. It kind of adds a little something extra to the design. Okay, so I've stamped the body of the butterfly in some sweet mango on some Gina K Designs layering weight cardstock. And I'm just fussy cutting this out, and I'm going to cut just the body out because we're going to use another stamp to create the antenna for the butterfly. Okay, so moving on. So I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to create the faux die cut at the top of this butterfly. So I'm just going to go ahead and move the body, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I fussy cut the top out to give it that die cut look and feel. Now the stamps in this stamp set are the line weights are pretty thick, so it makes it really easy for you to cut around the lines and see where you are. So the lines aren't very thin, and you can see that I'm cutting around these leaves, but I'm keeping the scissors in place and I'm moving the paper. So for some of you who have trouble with fussy cutting, and I get a lot of questions about fussy cutting, this is one of the ways that you can fussy cut and get that look, the angles and the look and feel that you're trying to achieve. Instead of moving the scissors around the image, move the paper while you are cutting, and you can see that it just creates a little bit more of a fluid action for you to be able to cut with your scissors better. So I'm just going ahead and finishing off this edge and just rounding it out at the very top corner of that butterfly. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this just a little bit more. I'm lining up in my cutter here right to the edge of where that butterfly is because the stamp didn't physically go all the way to the edge, but because we've cut out the top of this card and created that kind of die cut image, just a little tiny bit of paper is left on each side here. And I just want to trim that off so that we can get a really clean look, and it looks like that butterfly is just jumping off of the top of the page. So we really kind of amplify that die cut look and feel that's happening. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of play with this here, and I'm really liking this color combination. I'm going to go ahead and put it on to the base of the cardstock, and I like to open up the cardstock so I can see where my fold line is and just kind of get it in position. And I'm just putting it on top, and I've got like this white on white look, so it's really crisp, but you can see a little bit of the white underneath. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to put the antenna on the base layer of the cardstock. And I'm just got the layering piece on here right now just for position. And I'm going to go ahead and ink up the left and right version of the berry stamps from the Your Wings stamp set in some sweet mango, and they are going to act as the antenna for the butterfly. Now, you could pop up this layer with some pop dots and things like that to get some distance between the layer and the antenna. But I'm just going to go ahead and leave it the way it is and put the body on top here and go ahead and take that whole layer and just glue it down to the base of the cardstock. Now we can see that there's layers of ink on the base, and then we have the layers of ink and the stamped images on the layering piece of the cardstock. If you wanted to get a little bit of height, you could pop that up and it would be really, really nice. But I'm going to do something else here that's just going to create that dimension after I go ahead and glue the body down and just kind of pull it all together here. So I'm using my Gina K Designs Connect glue. Love this glue, super simple, easy, and it works very well every time for everything. And I love it. And you see me use it a lot in my videos. Okay, so the base is on. The stamping's all done, and you can see that there's a layer here, and we've got that faux die cut. Now to amplify that look a little bit, I'm just taking my fingers here and I'm kind of popping up the leaves that are part of the wings. So we get that look and feel of some dimension without adding a lot of height. Okay, so now it's time for me to go ahead and move on and put the sentiment in. And I'm settling in on using the Hello Friend sentiment from the Autumn Wishes stamp set. I really like the graphic look of this sentiment. It's really bold, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up in Obsidian and put that down. And the Obsidian is really going to create a nice contrast between all of the fall color palette and the sentiment. And I really like to do that a lot. I will often put my sentiments in a black or a darker color to create that contrast between all of the color elements on the card versus the sentiment. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this Hello Friend right here in between the two bottom parts of the wings, and it fits just so perfectly in there. And I love how the little O just kind of makes that little connection with the bottom part of the wing. And there's a nice contrast between the word hello and the word friend. And I'm going to go ahead and add a few more little elements stamped around the hello friend just to create a little bit more of a connection between the butterfly that's stamped above and the hello friend sentiment below. So I went ahead and grabbed the honey mustard, and I've got the two star elements from the Your Wings stamp set. I have the small and the large here, and I'm just kind of nesting them and positioning them around the bottom of the butterfly and around the hello friend. So I've got some sweet corn here. I just love that. It's a really nice contrasting color up against the honey mustard, and it just blends really well with this whole fall color palette that I've got going here. So I'm just kind of popping it in a few places just to create a little bit of a rhythm in color around these two wings and the sentiment. And I'm really, really digging it. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more. I've got some Nuvo drops here in the copper. It's like a copper metallic, and these will be listed down below as well if you're interested in that product. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop a few of those dots inside the belly of the butterfly and just in a couple different places just to add a little bit of visual interest. I tend to use embellishments that don't add a lot of weight or height to the card, and but just can add a little bit extra that works really well with the colors. These two colors, this green and this copper color, have a little bit of a metallic in the Nuvo drops, and it works really, really well with blending with the Gina K color palette that I'm using here. So I'm really digging it. And super simple, easy, and clean. Okay, Okay, so I'm really digging the way this card came out. I love this fall color palette. It's really clean and simple. It's got this white on white look and feel. The stamps are the star of the show, and the inspiration over on the right just kind of pops in a different way. And I'm kind of digging this clean and simple white on white look and feel. The whole card comes together really, really easily, and this autumn color palette from the Gina K Designs inks just making me so, so happy. I hope you enjoyed today's card tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me. Please consider sharing the joy by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.